The stars stretched out like endless black velvet, dotted with tiny lights that were distant suns. In this quiet corner of space, far from any busy trade routes, the small human ship Aurora Dawn moved slowly. It was an exploration vessel, not built for war. Its hull was smooth and gray, with only a few sensor arrays and engine ports breaking the clean lines. Inside the bridge, Captain Daniel Hayes sat in the center chair. He was a tall man with short brown hair and calm blue eyes. At 42 years old, he had seen many strange things in his career, but he always kept his voice steady. Around him, his crew worked at their stations. First Officer Laura Bennett stood nearby, checking data on her screen. She had dark hair tied back and a sharp mind for details. Engineer Ryan Cole sat at the engineering console, his fingers moving fast over controls. Security Officer Megan Torres watched the external cameras, her hand resting near her sidearm. Medic Ethan Brooks waited in the background, ready if anyone got hurt. A low alarm sounded. Red lights flashed softly on the main view screen. "Incoming contacts," Laura said in a clear voice. Multiple ships, closing fast. They matched the profile of Krell Dominion vessels. Daniel leaned forward. "How many?" "7, Ryan answered from his station. "All armed. Heavy weapon signatures. They're surrounding us." The view screen changed. It showed the alien fleet. The Krell ships were dark and sharp, like knives made of black metal. Their hulls had ridges and spikes, and glowing red engine trails followed them like blood in water. The lead ship was the largest, with a wide front that looked like an open mouth full of teeth. A signal came in. The bridge speakers crackled, then a deep, growling voice filled the room. It spoke in broken standard trade language. "This is Commander Varrock of the Krell Dominion. You have entered our hunting grounds, soft skins. Drop your shields and prepare to be boarded. We will take your ship and your lives. Resistance is pointless. The strong eat the weak. That is the law." On the view screen, the image switched to the Krell commander. Varrock was huge, over 8 feet tall when standing. His skin was tough and scaled, dark green with black stripes. Long, sharp fangs filled his wide mouth, and his yellow eyes glowed with hunger. Sharp claws tapped against the arm of his command throne. Behind him, other Krell warriors stood in rows, each one snarling and showing their teeth in the same way. They wore armor with spikes on the shoulders, and carried long blades that looked perfect for cutting flesh. Varrock laughed, a rough sound like stones grinding together. "Look at them. No fangs, no claws, just smooth skin and small teeth, prey pretending to be something else. We will enjoy this hunt." On the Aurora Dawn, the crew stayed quiet for a moment. No one panicked. Daniel looked at Laura. She gave a small nod. Then he pressed the comm button. "This is Captain Daniel Hayes of the Aurora Dawn. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration. We have no wish to fight, but we will not surrender our ship or our crew." Varrock's laughter grew louder. "Peaceful? In our space? You are food that walks and talks. Your words mean nothing. We bear our fangs. You will scream soon." The alien fleet moved closer. Tractor beams locked onto the human ship, pulling it in. The Aurora Dawn shook gently as the beams took hold. "Shields at 70%, Megan reported. "They are preparing boarding pods." Daniel stood up. "All hands, battle stations, but remember our rules. We defend. We do not attack first. Ryan, keep the engines ready. Laura, coordinate the teams. Megan, take security to the main corridors. Ethan, get the med bay prepared." The crew moved fast, but without fear. They had trained for this. Each person went to their post, checking weapons and sealing doors. Outside, the first boarding pods launched from the Krell ships. They were small, arrow-shaped craft with cutting tools on the front. They flew straight at the Aurora Dawn and attached to the hull with loud thuds. Sparks flew as the pods cut through the outer plating. Inside one pod, Varrock's best warriors waited. Their leader was a big Krell named Gorak. He had extra scars on his face, and fangs that were longer than most. He gripped his blade tightly. "Remember," Gorak growled to his pack, "we take no prisoners. Rip them apart. Show the galaxy what happens to those who enter Krell space." The pod door hissed open. The Krell poured out into a dark corridor of the human ship. Their claws scraped the metal floor. Their eyes adjusted quickly to the low light. They sniffed the air, smelling fear, or so they thought. But the corridor was empty. No humans ran or screamed. Only silence. Gorak tilted his head. "Spread out. Find them. The hunt begins." His warriors moved forward, fangs bared, ready to strike. They thought this would be easy, a quick kill, a feast. They did not know yet that the humans were watching from hidden cameras. They did not know that Daniel had already planned several steps ahead. Back on the bridge, Daniel watched the monitors. Small red dots moved through the ship, the Krell boarding parties. "They think we're running," Laura said quietly. Daniel gave a small smile. "Let them think that, for now." The Aurora Dawn was small, but it was built by people who knew how to survive. Every corridor had hidden panels. Every room had ways to trap or slow an enemy. The humans had learned long ago on their homeworld that the best hunter does not always roar the loudest. In the main engineering section, Ryan Cole sealed a door behind him. He checked a panel on the wall. "Traps are armed," he said over the comm. "First group is heading this way." Megan Torres led a small team of security officers. They wore light armor and carried rifles set to stun first, lethal if needed. She spoke softly. "Stay low. Use cover. Pick them off, one by one." The Krell moved deeper into the ship. Their growls echoed off the walls. One warrior kicked open a side door. Inside was a storage room. Empty. "Where are the prey?" he snarled. Another laughed. "Hiding like rats. We will drag them out." But then a soft click sounded. A panel in the ceiling opened. A small device dropped down and exploded with bright light and loud noise. The Krell warriors staggered, blinded for a second. From the shadows, Megan's team fired. Blue stun bolts hit 2 Krell. They fell hard, twitching. The others roared in anger and charged. Claws slashed, blades swung. But the humans were already moving back, leading them into the next corridor. Varrock watched all this from his flagship. His claws dug into his chair arms. "They fight back," he said, surprised, "but not like warriors, like shadows." He leaned closer to the screen. "No matter. Numbers are on our side. Send more pods. I want that captain's head on my throne by the end of this cycle." The battle had just started. The Krell bared their fangs, thinking they were the hunters. The humans stayed quiet. They whispered plans over comms. They waited. And in the silence, something ancient stirred. Something older than the Krell's loud boasts. Something that had survived ice ages, deserts, and endless hunts on a blue world called Earth. The real hunt was about to begin. The Krell warriors moved fast through the narrow corridors of the Aurora Dawn. Their heavy boots made loud thuds on the metal floor. Claws scratched lines into the walls as they pushed forward. Gorak, their pack leader, led the way. His yellow eyes scanned every shadow. His long fangs stayed bared in a constant snarl. The air smelled of hot metal and alien sweat. "Spread out," Gorak growled. "Find the softskins. No one escapes." His team split into smaller groups. 5 warriors went left toward the crew quarters. Another 5 went right toward engineering. They expected screams. They expected humans to run and hide like frightened animals. Instead, the ship stayed quiet. Too quiet. In the left corridor, a Krell warrior named Tark kicked open a door. Inside was a small mess hall. Tables and chairs stood empty. A half-eaten meal sat on one table, steam still rising from the bowl. Tark laughed. They left in a hurry. Cowards. The others followed. As the last one entered, the door slid shut behind them with a soft click. Lights dimmed. Then a low hum started. From vents in the ceiling, white gas poured out. It smelled sharp, like cleaning chemicals mixed with something burning. Tark coughed. "What is this?" His vision blurred. His legs felt heavy. The gas was not poison. It was a sleep agent, strong enough to slow even a Krell. Two warriors dropped to their knees. Tark tried to roar, but only a weak growl came out. From a hidden side panel, Megan Torres and two security officers stepped out. They wore masks. Their rifles were raised. Blue stun bolts flashed. The Krell fell one by one. Megan checked each body. "Secured," she said into her comm. 5 down. No injuries on our side. In another part of the ship, Ryan Cole worked alone in a maintenance tunnel. He had a small toolkit open. Wires hung from an open panel. He connected 2 cables. Somewhere ahead, lights flickered and died in a section of corridor. A group of Krell ran into the sudden darkness. They stopped, confused. Their eyes needed time to adjust. In that moment, small traps sprang. Thin wires snapped up from the floor. Weighted nets dropped from above. One Krell got caught and fell hard. Another slashed at the net with his claws, but the material held strong. It was made from carbon fibers, tough enough to stop blades. From the shadows, Ethan Brooks appeared with a stun baton. He was not a fighter like Megan, but he knew where to strike. He hit one Krell behind the knee. The alien dropped. Ethan moved back fast before claws could reach him. The Krell roared in anger. "They use tricks," one shouted. "No honor." But the humans did not answer. They just kept moving, striking, and disappearing again. On the bridge, Daniel Hayes watched the security feeds. Small red dots blinked. Krell positions. Green dots showed his people. The green dots moved carefully, never staying in one place too long. "They're getting frustrated," Laura Bennett said. She stood next to him, arms crossed. "Their pattern is breaking. They expected a straight fight." Daniel nodded. "Good, let them chase ghosts." A new alert sounded. More boarding pods were coming. 10 this time. Verak was sending reinforcements. "They're angry now," Ryan said over comm from engineering. "I can hear them smashing paddles. But they're slowing. The long corridors are wearing them down." Laura looked at Daniel. "How long do we keep this up?" "Until they understand," Daniel said quietly. "Or until they have no choice but to leave." In the main cargo bay, a large group of Krell gathered. Gorak stood in the center. 10 warriors surrounded him. They had lost contact with 3 teams already. Bodies lay in the halls, stunned or trapped. Gorak slammed his fist against a crate. "These humans do not fight like prey," he snarled. "They do not charge. They do not roar. They hide and sting like insects." A younger warrior spoke up. "Commander Verak says we must take the bridge. Kill the captain. End this." Gorak showed his fangs wider. "Then we go to the bridge. All of us. No more small groups. We smash through." They moved as one pack now. Heavy steps echoed louder. They tore open doors with claws and blades. Sparks flew. Alarms blared, but the humans had turned off most of the warning lights to keep their positions hidden. Megan's team waited at a junction. They had set up a barricade. Crates, metal plates, anything heavy. When the Krell came around the corner, Megan gave the order. "Fire!" Rifles barked. Stun bolts hit the front line. 3 Krell dropped. The others charged. Claws met metal. Blades clashed against rifle barrels. One Krell broke through and grabbed the security officer by the arm. He pulled hard. The officer cried out in pain. Megan fired point blank. The Krell staggered back, stunned. She helped her teammate up. Fall back to secondary position. They retreated in good order. The Krell followed, but slower. Blood dripped from small cuts on their scales. The humans had aimed for joints and weak spots. Nothing fatal yet, just enough to hurt and slow. In the flagship, Varrock watched the feeds. His claws dug deep into his chair. "Losses," he demanded. A subordinate answered in a low voice. 27 boarded, 12 down. No human dead reported. Varrock's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. They are soft, weak. But they fight smart," the subordinate said carefully. "They use the ship against us. Traps, gas, darkness." Varrock stood up, his tail lashed behind him. "We stop playing their game. Prepare my personal shuttle. I will lead the next wave myself. I want to see these humans bleed with my own claws." He turned to the screen showing Daniel's face from an earlier transmission. The human looked calm, too calm. "You think you can hide, soft skin?" Varrock whispered. "I will find you. I will make you scream." Back on the Aurora Dawn, Daniel walked the corridors with Laura. They checked on teams. Megan reported in. "We're holding, sir. But they're grouping up. Big push coming soon." Daniel put a hand on her shoulder. "You've done well. All of you. Keep them moving. Tire them out." Ethan joined them. He carried a medical kit. "I've treated 3 minor wounds. Nothing serious. The Krell are strong, but they tire fast in long fights. Their bodies are made for quick kills, not chases." Daniel nodded. "That's the difference. We learned to run for hours on Earth, to follow prey until it dropped. They never had to." Laura looked ahead. They're heading toward the bridge now. "Varrock is coming personally." Daniel's face stayed calm. "Then we let him come. When he gets here, he'll learn what a real predator sounds like." The ship shook as another pod attached. More Krell poured in. Their roars filled the halls. Fangs gleamed under emergency lights. But the humans did not run. They waited in shadows. They whispered over comms. They planned. The hunt was turning. The loud predators were starting to feel something new. Doubt. And in the quiet parts of the ship, the ancient law waited. Patient, silent, ready. The Krell pushed deeper into the Aurora Dawn. Their numbers grew with each new boarding pod. Now over 40 warriors moved through the ship. They broke doors, ripped panels, and left deep scratches everywhere. Their roars bounced off the walls like thunder. Gorak led the main group straight toward the bridge. He could smell the end coming. Victory. Blood. A feast. In the flagship, Commander Varrock watched every move on his screens. His claws tapped faster now. He saw his warriors fall to traps and quiet shots. He saw humans slip away before claws could reach them. Anger burned in his chest. No prey had ever lasted this long against the Krell. "Enough games," Varrock said. He stood up from his throne. "Prepare my armor. I go myself." His guards brought heavy black armor with sharp spikes. Varrock put it on piece by piece. The helmet had slits for his eyes and a wide opening for his fangs. When he finished, he looked bigger, more deadly. He took a long, curved blade from the wall. It gleamed under the red lights. "I will end this," he told his officers. "The human captain will kneel before me. Then I will take his head." Varrock entered his personal shuttle. It was fast and small, built for one purpose, to carry their leader into the heart of battle. The shuttle launched. It flew straight to the Aurora Dawn and attached near the bridge access tube. Inside the human ship, alarms sounded softly. Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge with Laura Bennett, Ryan Cole, Megan Torres, and Ethan Brooks. They had pulled back most teams. Now only a few security officers guarded the last corridors. "The big one is coming," Megan said. She checked her rifle. Varrock himself. Daniel looked at the main screen. It showed Varrock stepping out of the shuttle. The Krell commander walked tall. His blade rested on his shoulder. Behind him came 20 of his best warriors. "Let him in." Laura raised an eyebrow. "Sir?" "We end this face to face," Daniel answered. "No more running." The door hissed open. Varrock stepped into the wide corridor that led to the bridge. His warriors spread out behind him. They filled the space with growls and the scrape of claws. Varrock stopped 20 steps from the bridge entrance. He raised his voice. "Captain Hayes, come out. Face me, or I will tear this ship apart piece by piece." Daniel walked forward alone. He wore no armor, just his uniform, no weapon in his hands. He stopped 10 steps away. The two leaders faced each other. Varrock towered over him. The Krell's fangs looked huge up close. His breath smelled like hot iron. Varrock bared his fangs wider. It was the full display, lips pulled back, teeth shining, a low growl rumbling in his throat. Every Krell behind him did the same. The sound filled the corridor like a storm. "Look at you," Varrock said. "No fangs, no claws, small, soft, yet you dare stand here. Why?" Daniel met his yellow eyes. His voice stayed low and calm, almost a whisper. "Your law is simple," Daniel said. "The strong eat the weak. You bare your fangs to show strength. You roar to scare. You hunt in packs and take what you want." Varrock laughed. "Yes, that is the only law. The galaxy belongs to predators like us." Daniel shook his head slowly. "Your law is young. Ours is older." Varrock tilted his head. "Older? You humans are new to space, weaklings who hide behind metal shells." Daniel took one small step closer. "Long before your people flew between stars, before you even walked on your homeworld, there was a law written across the galaxy. The precursor accords. Most races forgot it. You never learned it, but we remembered." He spoke the words softly, like telling a secret. "The true predator does not announce himself. He does not bare fangs until the kill is certain. He does not roar to prove his power. The one who boasts, who shows his teeth too soon, is not the hunter. He is the prey pretending to be strong. The silent one, the one who waits, who follows, who endures, is the apex." Varrock stared. Then he laughed again, louder. Words, empty words from a dying race. He lunged. His blade swung down in a fast arc. It would cut Daniel in half. But Daniel stepped to the side, smooth, calm. The blade missed by inches. Varrock spun, ready for another strike. That was when the trap sprang. From hidden panels in the walls, bright lights flashed. Not just lights, focused beams that burned hot. They hit the Krell warriors in the eyes. Many staggered, blinded for seconds. At the same time, floor sections dropped open. Nets shot up. Weighted cables wrapped around legs and arms. Megan's team appeared from side corridors. They fired stun bolts in quick bursts. Ryan activated more traps, gas vents, shock panels, falling debris. The Krell roared and slashed, but they hit air or metal instead of flesh. Varrock swung again at Daniel. This time, Daniel ducked low. He grabbed Varrock's arm, not to fight, but to pull. He used the Krell's own weight and speed against him. Varrock stumbled forward. Daniel stepped behind and pushed. Varrock crashed into a wall. His blade clattered to the floor. The Krell commander turned, furious. Blood trickled from a cut on his scale. "You cheat!" "No," Daniel said. "We plan, we wait, we outlast." Varrock charged again. This time he used claws instead of the blade. He slashed fast. Daniel moved back, staying just out of reach. Every time Varrock attacked, Daniel slipped away. He never struck back hard. He just kept Varrock moving, kept him chasing. Behind them, the battle turned. Krell warriors fell one by one, stunned, trapped, tired. Their short bursts of power faded. They breathed hard, their muscles burned. They had trained for this. They had walked long distances on Earth. They had hunted across plains and forests for days without stopping. Gorak fought near the back. He took a stun bolt to the shoulder. He dropped to one knee. Megan stood over him. "Stay down," she said. Gorak snarled, but could not rise. Varak saw his warriors fall. He roared in rage. He lunged at Daniel again. This time, Daniel did not move away. He caught Varak's wrist. With a quick twist, he forced the Krell's arm down. Varak went to his knees. Daniel stood over him, still calm. "You bared your fangs too soon," Daniel whispered. "That was your mistake." Varak looked up. For the first time, fear showed in his yellow eyes. Not much, just a flicker, but it was there. The corridor grew quiet. Only heavy breathing and soft groans from the fallen Krell broke the silence. Daniel stepped back. "Tell your people," he said. "Tell them what happens when predators meet the real hunters." Varak said nothing. He just stared. The turning point had come. The loud ones had been silenced. The whisper had won. And the ancient law lived on. The corridor outside the bridge grew still. Fallen Krell warriors lay everywhere. Some groaned softly. Others stayed quiet, stunned, or too tired to move. Varric knelt on the metal floor. His heavy armor looked heavier now. His chest moved up and down fast. Sweat mixed with blood on his scales. His curved blade rested a few steps away, out of reach. Daniel Hayes stood a short distance back. He did not raise his voice. He did not smile in victory. His face stayed calm, like always. Laura Bennett, Megan Torres, Ryan Cole, and Ethan Brooks watched from the sides. They held their weapons ready, but no one fired. The fight had changed. It was no longer about force. It was about something deeper. Varric lifted his head. His yellow eyes locked on Daniel. "You did not kill us," he said. His voice sounded rough, broken. "Why?" "Because we do not need to," Daniel answered. "Not yet." Varric tried to stand. His legs shook. He used one claw to push himself up. He looked around at his warriors. Many breathed hard. Their tongues hung out. Their short, powerful bodies were made for quick attacks. Sprint, strike, kill, then rest. They were not built for long chases. Not built for hours of tension and small wounds that added up. Daniel spoke again, still in that low whisper. "On our world, Earth, we were not the strongest, not the fastest, not the biggest. Other animals had sharper claws, longer teeth, thicker hides, but we survived them all." He took one slow step forward. Varak did not move to attack. He just listened. "We ran," Daniel continued. "Not fast sprints, long, steady runs. We followed prey for days. Through heat, through cold, through rain. The animal would tire. Its legs would shake. Its breath would come short. It would stop. We would not. We kept going until it fell." Megan Torres stepped closer. She spoke quietly. "Your people fight like lions. Short bursts. Big shows. We fight like wolves on a hunt. Or like humans on the savannah. We wear you down. One step at a time." Varak looked at her, then back at Daniel. "You are persistence hunters." Daniel nodded. "Yes, that is what we are. We do not bare our fangs until the end. We do not roar to scare. We wait. We follow. We endure. That is the ancient law, the one the precursors wrote when they still walked among the stars. They knew. The loud predator is often the first to die. The quiet one lives longest." A memory came to Daniel then. Not a picture in his mind, but a feeling. He remembered stories from his grandfather, old tales of hunters in Africa, walking for miles under the sun, tracking footprints, waiting at water holes, never rushing, never giving up, The prey always broke first. Laura Bennett added her voice. Your ships are fast. Your claws are sharp. But space is big. Time is long. We have learned to last. Ryan Cole spoke from the side. We turned your own speed against you. You came in hard. We slowed you down. Traps. Gas. Darkness. Small hurts. Now look at your warriors. They pant. They shake. They want to stop. Varak looked down at his own hands. His claws trembled a little. He felt it now, the burn in his muscles, the heavy weight in his lungs. He had never felt this before, not in any hunt, not against any species. One of his warriors, a younger Krell named Lirak, tried to rise. He fell back with a grunt. Commander, we cannot keep fighting like this. Varak closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, the fire in them had dimmed, not gone, but smaller. You spared us, he said to Daniel. Why not finish it? Because the law says something else too, Daniel answered. It says the true apex does not kill for sport, only when needed. You came as predators. We showed you a bigger one. Now go. Tell your people. Tell them the humans wait in silence. Tell them we do not need to bare our fangs to win. Varak stared at him for a long time. Then he bent slowly. He picked up his blade. Not to fight. He held it by the flat side and offered it forward. A sign of respect among the Krell. A surrender. Daniel did not take it. He just nodded. Keep your blade. Use it to remember. Varak stood straighter. He looked at his warriors. Rise, he said. We leave. The Krell helped each other up. They moved slow. No roars now. No snarls. Just quiet steps. They walked back toward their pods and shuttle. Some leaned on others. Blood dripped from small cuts. Stun marks showed dark on their scales. Megan lowered her rifle. Ethan moved forward to check the worst injured. We can treat them, he said, if they let us. Daniel shook his head. Let them go. They will carry the message better if they feel the pain. The Krell filed out. Varak went last. At the access tube, he stopped. He turned back to Daniel. You whispered the law, Varak said. I heard it. The galaxy will hear it too. Then he stepped into the tube. The door closed. Moments later, the shuttle detached. It flew back to the flagship. The other boarding pods pulled away one by one. The Krell fleet held position for a short time. Then, slowly, their engines glowed. They turned. They left. On the bridge, the crew gathered. Laura sat down at her station. Her hands shook a little from the tension. Ryan wiped sweat from his face. Megan checked her team over comms. Ethan packed his medical kit. Daniel stood at the view screen. The stars looked the same. Quiet. Endless. Laura walked up beside him. Do you think they will stay away? For a while, Daniel said. They will warn others. Some will listen. Some will test us anyway, but they know now. Megan joined them. What happens next? We keep going, Daniel answered. We explore. We learn. We endure. Ryan smiled for the first time in hours. Like always. Daniel looked at his crew. Good people. Strong in their quiet way. Thank you, he said simply. All of you. They nodded. No big words, no cheers. Just the soft sound of the ship's systems humming. Outside, the Krell flagship sent one last signal. It was not a threat. It was a short message in trade language. To all ships, avoid human space. They do not roar, they whisper. And when they whisper ancient laws, the hunt ends. The signal cut off. The fleet jumped to faster than light speed. Gone. Inside the Aurora Dawn, Daniel turned away from the screen. He walked to his chair and sat down. The ship felt steady again. Safe. For now. But in the silence, the ancient law stayed. It did not shout. It did not need to. The Aurora Dawn floated quietly in the black of space once more. The alarms had stopped. The red lights no longer flashed. Only the soft hum of engines and life support filled the ship. The corridors still showed signs of the fight. Scratches on walls, broken panels, small bloodstains on the floor. But the crew moved with calm steps. They cleaned, they repaired, they healed. On the bridge, Daniel Hayes sat in his chair. He looked out the main view screen at the stars. They seemed brighter now, or maybe it was just the way he felt. Laura Bennett stood beside him. She had a cut on her cheek from a flying piece of metal. Ethan Brooks had already cleaned it and put a small bandage on it. Megan Torres checked her rifle one last time before putting it away. Ryan Cole ran final checks on the engines. Everything was green. Laura broke the silence first. They're gone. Really gone. Daniel nodded. For now. Varrock sent that last message. The whole fleet heard it. Avoid human space. They won't forget. Ryan looked up from his console. Do you think the Krell will come back? Maybe, Daniel said, but not the same way. They learned something today. They will think twice. And if others hear the story, they will think twice too. Ethan Brooks sat down at a side station. He rubbed his hands together. I treated some of the Krell before they left. Small wounds mostly. They let me. One of them even said thank you in his growling way. I think they were surprised we did not kill them all. Daniel turned his chair to face his crew. We could have, but that is not who we are. The ancient law is not about endless killing. It is about knowing when to stop, about balance. The precursors wrote it for a reason, to keep the galaxy from tearing itself apart. Laura crossed her arms. Do you think the law is still out there, in some old database? She said. Parts of it are, Daniel said. We found fragments years ago, buried in old ruins on dead worlds. The full text is lost, but the idea lives in us, in how we act. A soft beep came from the comm station, an incoming message. Not from the Krell, from a neutral relay beacon. Laura opened it. It is a broadcast, she said. Wide range, from the Krell Dominion border worlds. She played it. A deep voice, not Varax, spoke in clear trade language. To all species, the Krell Dominion issues this warning. Humans are not prey. They are not weak. They do not fight with noise or show. They endure. They wait. They win without roaring. Do not test them. Do not enter their claimed space without permission. The hunt ends when they whisper. The message repeated twice more, then ended. Megan let out a low whistle. They really sent that. Ryan smiled. Varac kept his word. Daniel stood up. He walked to the viewport. The stars stretched forever. Somewhere out there, other ships moved. Other races watched. Some would listen to the warning. Some would not. But the message was out. The whisper had traveled. He thought about Earth, a small blue world full of noisy people. Cities with lights that never slept. Wars and peace, laughter and tears. Humans had always been loud in their homes. But out here, among the stars, they learned silence. They learned patience. They learned that the strongest did not always shout the loudest. Laura joined him at the viewport. What now, Captain? Daniel looked at her. We keep going. There are more worlds to see, more things to learn. The galaxy is big. We have time. Megan walked up. And if trouble finds us again? Then we remember, Daniel said. We do not bare our fangs first. We whisper the law, and we endure. Ethan stood too. I like that. Whisper the law. Sounds almost poetic. Ryan laughed softly. Poetic? From engineers? Careful, Doc. The crew shared a small laugh. It felt good after the tension. Not loud, just warm. Daniel turned back to the bridge. Set course for the next system. Standard exploration speed. Aye, sir, Laura said. She input the coordinates. The ship turned gently. Engines pushed forward with a low thrum. As the Aurora Dawn moved, Daniel stayed at the viewport a little longer. He thought about Varek. The big Krell commander had looked small when he knelt. Not weak, just human in that moment. Surprised, humbled. Daniel hoped Varek would carry the lesson home. Hoped it would save lives on both sides. In the days that followed, the crew repaired the ship fully. They patched hull breaches. They replaced broken lights. They cleaned every corridor until it shone again. They told stories of the fight, not to brag, but to learn. Megan showed how she set the traps. Ryan explained the gas vents. Ethan talked about treating wounds under pressure. Laura kept logs of every move. Daniel listened to them all. One evening, ship time, Daniel found himself alone on the observation deck. A small room with a wide window. Stars moved slowly past. He sat on the bench and looked out. He remembered his first day in space. Young, excited, full of dreams. He had thought the galaxy would be full of wonders and friends. He had not expected fights, not expected to face predators who saw humans as food. But he had learned, step by step, year by year. Now he knew. Humans were not the loudest, not the biggest, but they lasted. They adapted. They remembered old ways from a harsh world, ways that worked in space too. He whispered to the stars, "The law holds." No one answered. No need. The stars just kept shining. Back on the bridge the next day, a new signal came in. Not a warning, a greeting. From a small trade station, 2 systems away. They had heard the Krell broadcast. They wanted to talk, to trade, to meet humans. Laura smiled. First friendly contact since the fight. Daniel nodded. Good. Let's go say hello. The ship changed course. Engines hummed louder. The crew worked with fresh energy. Somewhere far away, on a Krell homeworld, Varek stood before his leaders. He wore no armor now, just simple robes. He told the story. Not with anger, not with shame, with truth. They did not roar, he said. They whispered an old law, and we lost. Not because we were weak, but because we forgot what a true predator is. The leaders listened. Some growled, some stayed quiet. But the warning spread. Ships turned away from human routes. Explorers marked charts with new lines. Human space, proceed with caution. The galaxy shifted a little. Not much, just enough. And the Aurora Dawn kept moving. Quiet, steady, unafraid. In the end, that was the real power. Not fangs. Not claws. Not roars. Just the will to keep going. And the ancient law, whispered in the dark, carried on.